Can AI create art? And exactly what is art? Art generally or rather completely means man-made or the creativity of humans. That has always been the case for the last millennia plus. But with the arrival of artificial intelligence and with the forceful advance of the artificial intelligence, can we consider artificial intelligence supported or generated work as art? Legally, art is man-made. But what the Beijing court or the Beijing Internet Court decided a month or two ago in November 2003 has been the first for a court. For the first time in the history of mankind, the court has decided that a non-human entity can create art. The drawing or the image in contention is this: spring breeze brings tenderness. It was the centerpiece of the case involving Lee versus Liu. Here the person or the artist, let's call him, Mr. Lee, created this Japanese schoolgirl with the use of artificial intelligence. He did not draw, he did not take photos, he got AI to create this image using over 150 prompts, negative prompts, text parameters, you name it. And is it a mechanical intellectual creation? Well, the judges said no. It can be considered as, yes, this work of adjustments and the rearrangements is literally artist's mind or artist's aesthetic choices. By deciding so, the court for the first time ever in China or anywhere in the world decided that this work belongs to Mr. Lee as a copyrightable work. Now the case created an uproar not only in China but other places as well, because so far on the other side of the planet, in the USA, it has been a complete no for the work made by AI. We have the Zarya the Dawn, we'll take a look at it later, and in the recent Entrance to Paradise, another work, and the Theatre d'Opera Spatial. So they have been flatly denied copyrights in the US. When the artists, let's call them, responsible for these works required copyrights, the US Copyright Office, the US Federal Court said no. There are tens of thousands of AI-generated art published each month, and none of them can claim copyrights. That means anyone can copy it. Anyone can use it. Why? The copyright is man-made. That's what the US law says. That's what every country's law says. Same goes for China, mind you. Other than this particular case. Even here, the Chinese court, does not fully say AI is copyrightable. What the Chinese court says is also the work of AI backed by the the human intervention, human aesthetic choices can be considered as copyrightable. So it's not a blanket approval, but anyway, it is a first, and the US courts have been steadfast against it. This one, the recent Entrance to Paradise, was created years back, and Mr. Thaler, or the Stephen Thaler, who was responsible for it, got this image done through his algorithm, called it the creativity machine. He says this is totally created by the machine itself. So it's technically a complete machine-made product, machine-made, inverted commas, art. When he wanted to get copyrights for this, not for himself but to the machine, give the copyright to the machine. The court said this is a work which is absent of any human involvement. And human involvement is a bedrock requirement of a copyright, so we can't give it. So this has been the way the US courts have been going about it. And this is exactly what the judge opined. Sailor must either provide evidence that the work is the product of human authorship or convince the office to depart from a century of copyright jurisprudence. Well, the law on copyright is that copyright is given to a man, a woman, a human being, not to anything else. Moving on, this one. It's a recent one. Actually, this is an image that even won an award. They've got the first place at the Colorado State Fair competition. The artist, or Mr. Jason M. Allen, right, created it using Midjourney, an AI image generator. After winning the prize only, he admitted that this is AI supported. And how did he make it? Yeah, over 80 hours involving creative force behind the tool, inputs, revisions, prompts, yeah, negatives and all, 624 times using Midjourney and later Adobe, but artists call it automated plagiarism. And did he get the copyright? No. US copyright officers flatly refusing. Cannot be given because it was not the production of human authorship. Yeah, here also, if you go by the Chinese court argument, Allen spent more hours making this, more prompts creating this image. So going by the Chinese court decision, this should have been given copyrights, but okay, two different countries here, right? USA refused. So what exactly is AI? It's this simulation of human intelligence processes, right? Using machines. And you have multiple tools coming in. There are hundreds of AI tools actually. This is a few of them. And this is the pertinent question. Can we accept that technology is capable of creating emotions? Can it be considered that technology can be humane? Can we expect the technology to express itself? So these are the basic human functions that only humans are capable of. And this human creativity is what the law of copyright goes about protecting. But can we think that AI could be placed in that position? No doubt these are magical creations. These are fantastic creations. These are almost, or very much so, human-like creations. But law still stands the same. It cannot be given because it's a machine. But the machine that we are talking about is becoming ever more competent and capable of reading the human mind. For example, the deep learning capacities of AI tools can identify the style of the artist. Take a look at Vermeer, one of the world's most renowned Dutch artists. His creation, The Girl with the Pearl Earrings, have been copied multiple times by, so many AI, utilizing people, where the AI tool basically studies the style and copies another image to look, create a variation of it, a variety, in different varieties. So the challenge is this. AI is not just another machine, it's a thinking machine. It's a machine that can improve its capacities of colors, shapes, everything else due to its deep learning capacities. So the machine technically learns itself. When you pump in loads of training data, any AI machine, AI software depends on this training data. Thousands upon thousands of images or whatever, right? Pumped into the system. So it evolves itself using that knowledge that it gets and what it is taught, right? And then it creates it. So that's the way of AI. And yes, take a look at this image, Mona Lisa, right? See how far or rather close the AI can create the image of Mona Lisa by Da Vinci. This is what I call the learning of the artist, of his style. So, should we give copyright to it, or should it completely ignore its capacities to get it so? So that would stand as a challenge. One thing to accept is AI is advancing ever so stronger, ever deeper into human psyche. And so much of human work today is involving AI. Much of our work has an AI component. From the mobile phone to the electronics that we use, to the Google Maps, to Spotify, to, everything that we can think about. So why not in art? That's where the question comes. And coming back to the topic of training data, this is the case. Much of the training data, the AI tools obtain without buying copyrights, without obtaining permission from the people. They don't have to, because much of the work available online, pumped in there by millions of people, are not copyrighted. They've just uploaded them, right? Not expecting copyrights. So AI tools can mine all that info for its own learning. And yes, the copyrighted work also could be there. That can be copied by AI by taking them as training data. And the volume of the data is such that it's very, very difficult to file copyright actions against the AI, the tool creators. And whenever an artist gives a command, AI uses that knowledge to create the work. Now, this is a unique case involving this particular work by Chris Castanova. He actually created a novel, AI-supported novel, an 18-page one, called Zarya the Dawn. And he created a series of images to support the story. And the face of the story was, the images are based on actress Zendaya. Then the problem came when he wanted to get copyright for his book. Copyright office was happy to give the writing the copyright. That was also done with kind of support of AI, but the copyright office was of the view that it involves work of the artist also sufficiently. But for the images, the copyright office said, no, we cannot give it. Because the images were created through the AI platform called Midjourney. But anyway, this is a first for the US court to at least give part copyrights to a work involving AI. For the words, for the story, but not for the images though. So image is the challenge in the art-related work of AI. Now this one, Portrait of Edmund de Bellamy. Now this was an AI tool created one, and actually it was sold in a sold for this much of money. So AI is created, it's been utilized, it's been sold also. Much of the advertising industry, the businesses use AI tools a lot. AI created imagery a lot. Of course, the people who get to create them, pay them, get payments for their work. But one thing to be noting is none of them are copyrightable. So any work online, AI can be copied, can be utilized without having to pay anything so far. So this is an odd event of a work being sold, but can anybody make a copy out of it? Can anyone sell it to someone else? Yes, because this has no copyright. So the US Copyright Office is very steadfast on what AI means, right? Artistic choices are made by algorithms rather than the people who use them. Further goes on to say, users, right, exercise ultimate creative control over how such systems interpret prompts and generate material. True. How far the artist can control is a question. Is the change on the way? A recent guideline adjustment by US Copyright Office gives slightly different meaning to the aspect of the copyrightability of AI. Take a look at this. This is very recent. A work containing AI generated material will also contain sufficient human authorship to support a copyright claim. For example, a human may select or arrange AI generated material in a sufficiently creative way. Wording is sufficiently creative way. Sufficient enough to the Copyright Office of the court, it should be that the resulting work as a whole constitute an original work of authorship. So exactly where the line is, where the yardstick is, how is it measured is not yet done. But to know a case where at least a part copyright was given to an AI supported creation, only the writing part, not for the image of course, is a first in the USA. But however, AI would stand as an asset or a property of a country. Artificial intelligence is everywhere now, and it's impossible to think of a law where the copy or rather legal ownership to artificial intelligence created work is ignored. Even in art, particularly in art, there may come a time where a country may come to think that, look, the work of AI created within our country or within our population or the citizens should be given some kind of a right. So, would US be willing to let China be the only country that accepts the paintings done through AI, imagery created by AI as copyrightable? What would USA be doing to their own, entities, companies, people, right, who make this AI generated work? We'll see how it will come up, right? The question be answered. But anyway, AI interference into the intrusion into art is challenging the art world. From music to the sounds, right? The creation, the imagery, the drawing, the artistic work, even to photography. There's no field of entertainment and art that has not been impacted by AI. And this impact is more severe into the drawings, the image. So how can the genuine artists protect themselves? University of Chicago has created a tool, an AI tool called Glaze, where the glaze can help the artist technically to hide his style. That means which one is the original one would be difficult. There will be multiple images created, thereby hiding the true artistic style of the artist. So what's the purpose? To prevent the AI tools from copying the true style of the artist. How successful it will be something that the future will have to decide. But can AI create art? Remember, one court in one country has said yes, whereas rest of the world still refuses to believe it. How long? That will be the question. I'm ending, Wally. Stop recording.